time to get our viewers on board and help them sort out their financial portfolio. I have Hemant Rustagi with me connected, and Hemant, we also have our first viewer on the phone line, Raghu. Raghu, hi, good evening. You're calling from?
Good evening. I'm calling from Bangalore.
Bangalore. Okay. So Raghu, you want to invest 2 lakh in mutual funds for how long? For 5 years?
That's right.
Okay. Also, you said that you can also invest in stocks directly. So for that, I would request you to watch other shows on ET Now where we give you stock-specific suggestions and recommendations through our expert. But on this show, let's focus on parking your 2 lakh amount via mutual funds, and the period is 5 years. So I'm assuming that you cannot take much risk with this amount. Is that right? Because the time horizon is just 5 years. A moderate risk taker?
That's right. I mean, I can afford to take, but I don't think in 5 years it makes much of a difference.
Yeah, 5 years might not be ideal as far as equity via mutual fund is concerned. But then, yeah, I think Hemant is the best person out here as an expert to explain you the reason why. So, Hemant, 5 years approach in equity, how much risk ideally is recommended?
Well, Kavita, I think there are two important aspects here. One, I think this is going to be his first investment in mutual fund. The second is his time horizon is 5 years. Obviously, you can invest in equity for 5 years, but I think you need to be careful, especially considering the fact that one, you're investing the lump sum and this is your first investment. So my objective, my idea would be that he should look at a combination of a hybrid fund and an active and an equity fund. Within equity also, I think he needs to make sure that there is a bias toward the large cap. You don't want your first investment to be very aggressive in equity because if your experience is not good initially, it may kind of hamper your investment process over the longer term. So my recommendation would be that maybe you can invest 1 lakh in a flexi cap fund, especially in a flexi cap fund which has a bias toward the large cap. Maybe you can look at HSBC flexi cap. Then look at one aggressive hybrid, which usually would invest around 65% or more in equity and the rest in debt. That one could be ICICI Pru equity and debt. So invest as a combination of these two. While it is important that when you're investing for 5 years, you make healthy return. At the same time, I think for you to be a better investor in the longer term, it's very, very important that you have the right kind of experience the first time around. So look at a mix of these two. Also, because you're investing lump sum, looking at where the markets are, it's obviously not advisable that you invest everything in one go. You should not be committing the entire sum at this stage. So I would say that a combination of lump sum, which could be around 30 to 40%, and the remaining can be invested through systematic transfer plan over the next 3 to 6 months. I think that will ensure that you're not committing too much money at this market level. At the same time, if there is a volatility going forward over the next 3 to 6 months, you will have the benefit because you will have 60-70% more money going in a disciplined manner. So invest as a combination of lump sum and through STP, and look at aggressive hybrid and a flexi cap fund.
All right, Raghu, are you still connected? Do you want to ask anything else to Hemant?
No, nothing else. That was helpful. Thank you.
All the best, Raghu. Okay, we also have Mr. Rajkumar on the phone line with us. Hi, good evening. How are you doing?
Yes, ma'am. Good, ma'am. How about you, ma'am?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much. You're calling from?
Calling from Trichy, ma'am, Chennai, Tamil Nadu.
Okay. All right. So you have a mid-cap fund from Mahindra Manulife and HDFC, 5,000 each. You have a small cap from Quant and Nippon, again 5,000 each, and you have Quant large and mid cap 5,000, Parag Parikh flexi cap 5,000, Nippon multi cap also 5,000. Your goal is to invest for 12 years for your retirement. What's the corpus that you're looking at?
No, ma'am, that we didn't mind. That only thing is I have to make money for retirement, ma'am.
For retirement, that's right.
Yes,
okay, so
yes,
no specific, so no specific goal you have aligned so far.
No, ma'am.
Okay. All
Only
right.
for retirement.
Only for retirement. Got it. Okay, so let's talk about your fund choices then. Hemant, what would you recommend?
Well, Kavita, the time horizon is 12 years. So, and the fact that he's investing through SIP is investing around 35,000. So I think in terms of strategy is perfectly fine. He's focusing on equity fund. 12-year time horizon is quite decent for any investor to invest systematically and try and get healthy returns. So I think that strategy is right. If I look at in terms of category, I think he's doing fine. He's chosen the right kind of category which should be there for a longer term investor. But I think there is a slight overlap in the funds. For example, in the small cap fund and the mid cap fund. So broadly, I would say that the fund that he has chosen are good. Let's try and kind of reduce the couple of funds so that there is no overlap. So maybe he can look at investing in Nippon Small Cap 5000, which he's doing there. Quant Large and Mid is investing 5,000. My recommendation would be that he can increase it to 10. I like this category a lot because this is where your money is invested in the top 200 companies in terms of market cap. It gives you the fund manager the flexibility also of moving from a large cap to mid cap. So I think that's a great category. You should invest 10,000 in that. Then there is a Parag Parikh Flexi Cap where you can invest 5,000. Then Nippon India Small Cap where you can invest 5,000. Then HDFC Multi Cap. Again, this is a fund which invests across all three segments. You can invest 10,000 in that, and HDFC Mid Cap 5,000. So what we have done is there was a slight overlap in terms of small cap and mid cap. We're trying to kind of ensure that the money goes into the right segment. So some slight changes, but I think overall the portfolio is good for 12-year time horizon.
All right, that's a thumbs up, Mr. Rajkumar, on your portfolio from Hemant. Let's move on. I have Mr. Sri Krishna from Hyderabad on the phone line. Hi, good evening. How are you doing today?
Good evening. Yeah, I'm good.
Thank you so much for sending us your question. All right, so your target is 1 CR and your investment duration is 10 years. You've got Axis Small Cap, you have Motilal Oswal Mid Cap, Tata Digital India, and you want to add more funds because you want to step up your SIP with 10,000 more. You also want a suggestion to add in multi-cap or a flexi cap or a large cap in your portfolio. Is that right?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so let's connect with Hemant now. So Hemant, 10 more years and target is 1 CR.
Yes, Kavita, I think the time horizon is 10 years. So the accumulated corpus so far is around 5 lakh, right? So the current SIP is 30,000, which he said he can increase by another 10,000. So total SIP would be 40,000. Then if I assume annualized return of 12% with the 40,000 SIP and the way that accumulated corpus of 5 lakh will grow, I think he should be able to achieve his target. Of course, the important thing is that he must continue his process, keep an eye on the performance of the fund in the portfolio, and if required, make some changes. At this stage, I think there are a couple of changes I would recommend. One is there is an Axis Small Cap fund. I think it's good to have a small cap category for 10-year horizon, but I think there are better funds. Maybe you can look at Nippon India Small Cap Fund. The second is there is a IT fund. Maybe this is a good time to look at IT, but again, the problem is that the timing of entry exit, there are a lot of factors that one has to look at. So my recommendation would be that instead of getting into a sector fund at this stage, you should look at a multi-cap fund, which could be a Kotak multi-cap fund. And the 10,000 that he wants to invest additionally, maybe he can look at either Motilal Oswal Large and Mid or Bandhan Core. Both are in the large and mid category. And then he has investment in Motilal Mid Cap, which is an excellent fund with quality fund. He can continue with that. So a couple of changes, and I've also recommended what fund he can add in the portfolio.
Perfect. Mr. Sri Krishna, is there anything else you want to understand from Hemant?
So regarding for multi-cap, shall I go for which fund for multi-cap or flexi-cap? Can you suggest a name?
So there is a Kotak multi-cap that is a good option according to Hemant that you can add. You can also consider a Motilal Oswal large and mid cap.
Okay. Shall I decrease the amount of Tata Digital?
Hemant, what do you recommend?
No, but I didn't hear that. He said whether he can reduce the amount.
Yeah, he wants to understand if he can reduce the SIP amount in Tata Digital, maybe just park that money somewhere else in some other fund.
I think currently he's investing around 10,000 that. So like I mentioned, my issue is that when you're trying to build a corpus over the next 10 years, right, the issue is that the sector fund requires a different kind of monitoring, which may not be good. And I think let's not forget one thing, that IT is a sector where in most of the fund that we talked about, you will see that there is a healthy exposure already in that sector. So I think you need to also revisit that whether you really need to have a separate IT fund. So I'm recommending that you discontinue that, Instead of that, you go into a multi-cap fund, which will give you exposure across different market segments.
All right, that will be all. Thank you so much, Hemant, for being on the show and helping our viewers with various aspects of their financial portfolio today. And on the Money Show, I'm going to leave you with our WhatsApp number and email ID. Do send across your questions, anything related to your investments, be it through mutual funds or through any other investment instrument, or even any question on insurance. We'll get your query answered by our experts live on the show. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.